It's by the star and join the winning team.
Frame Festival is on at Value Optical. See 2020 in 2020. That's right, folks. The biggest eyewear event is back. Featuring 5 trendy designer brands. Get up to a whopping 30% off your complete specs when combined with Transitions, Apex digital lenses, and Supernova anti-reflective coating. Plus, enter to win trendy swag items to complete your look with each purchase. Come on, let your eyes do the talking this season. Special conditions apply. See in-store and online for more details. Promotion approved by NLCB. See 2020 in 2020. Value Optical. Caring for your eye.
Trinidad and Tobago, you are in for a treat.
A Christmas treat. This year, tune into 919 FM
to experience a radio production event never heard of or seen before in Trinidad and Tobago.
For the next 91 days, turn on Treat 919 FM for a true Trini Christmas every day.
Teaching you what a Trini Christmas is all about. From October 1st to December 31st, enjoy daily
Christmas recipes,
Christmas greetings and blessings.
Hey, this is Uncle Crazy Boy. Merry Christmas.
Christmas stories from the greats.
And of course, Parang
Soca, and homegrown Christmas classics. It's a true Trini Christmas
on the street, 91.9 FM. Crazy! For 91 days.
Don't miss a minute of it.
Hi there, I'm Lester Sublal, inviting you to join me on the first, second, and third Saturday, 8:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. for the program Slow Gospel Music, and on the fourth and fifth Saturday from 8:30 p.m. for an extended version of Slow Gospel Music on Street 91.9 FM.
Enagic change your water, change your life. Enagic water purifier, one machine, 5 types of water. Enagic makes strong Kangen water with an 11.5 pH. Kangen water with 8.5 to 9.5 pH, healthy drinking and cooking water. Clean water with 7.0 pH. Beauty water for skin, hair, and plants with a 6.0 pH. Strong acid water with a 2.5 pH. This water is known to disinfect, kill viruses and bacteria. Listen to the Street 919 FM with Pastor Alkaline John every Tuesday from 11:05 a.m. to noon and every Wednesday from 8:05 p.m. to 9 p.m. as he talks to you weekly about how to improve your quality of life through purifying and drinking water. For more information, call or WhatsApp Pastor John at 516-286-7079.
Keeping your micro, small, or medium-sized business connected is more important than ever. Whether it's in the office, in the waiting room, or between the aisles, there is a solution for you. Keep yourself and your customers online with unlimited internet and Wi-Fi access, and get 24/7 technical support. With a personalized account manager, there's always someone to advise you as your business grows and your needs change. Starting from $199 per month, pay a year in advance and get 3 months absolutely free with our convenient online and offline payment options. So don't wait. Call us today at 320-8006. Green Dot, improving and simplifying lives.
From here to home, and from home to heart's desire, fulfilled with love and harmony.
TTMF will help you
to find your way easily.
With quick financing, low deposits, and the best
interest rates. TTMF, you're on your way. We'll take it straight to your front gates.
Trinidad and Tobago Mortgage Finance Company Limited, from here to home.
There's something magical about those old-time days. Everything tasted better because it was made with natural ingredients. We juice fresh ginger with slowly steeped whole spices and only 10 grams of sugar per serving, just like coconut water. Add something super to your day. You Juice, en route to the ultimate you.
We tired of this racism.
Stop killing we African people. Stop killing we Africans. Stop killing we.
Cause we tired, yes we tired. But I got this put a helping hand. Tell me why they do not like the Africans. But the God, I don't know what we did to them. Every day they killing African children. So I want to know why they kill we. And the police to kill we. And the army kill we. Politicians to kill we. But I got this answer we kill we. CIA want to kill we. KKK want to kill we. Racist skinheads to kill we. Africans we have to unite. Build black business and treat each other right. Spend your money in black community. Only then they will have respect for we. Over 400 years we suffering. We survived the torture, burning, rapes, hangings. Cities burning up, the whole world protesting. Black people tired of hate and racism. So I ask again why they kill we. Send the police to kill we. And the army kill we. Politicians to kill we. But I got this answer we kill we. HIV me to kill we. COVID-19 to kill we. Ebola me to kill we. Africans we have to unite.
Talk your talk, but we know talk. Come talk with us. The Street 919 FM.
Ṣùbẹ̀lẹ́kẹ́, òkú ìgbọ́nà, bákèrè olówó ẹyọ, èṣù ní kórè wá, ẹlẹ́gbàrà ní kò bí lọ, bẹ́lẹ̀kẹ̀ ní dàrá orò sáwò nílé, èṣù máa ṣẹ́ mi, ọmọ ẹ̀lẹ́ omi, ní òṣè, èṣù máa ṣẹ́ wá. Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀, èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀, bẹ́lẹ̀kẹ̀, èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀, èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀, èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀, bẹ́lẹ̀kẹ̀. Nobody can take my joy away. I am born to be happy. Every single wish shall supply for me. It's enough to be jolly. God no need to be worried, no. Cause life is a blessing, no. My life is a blessing, no. Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀, èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀, èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀, Asana. Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀, èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀, èṣù dẹ́ọ̀ dẹ́ọ̀, Akena. Every morning I awake, I give thanks to my glory. Èṣù lanu who makes all doors open up for me. Bad energies, no room for you, oh no. All good things I must get through. Ọmọ ẹ̀ ló ìran ní òṣè. Ọ̀la yìí, èṣù bá ní kọ̀ ọ̀wọ́ yìí.
When it comes to healthcare, you deserve the best. Do you suffer from low energy, anxiety, or constipation? Health and Wealth Lifestyle with Nicole Huggins provides you with the best services of iridology exam, blood analysis, ionic foot detox, followed by a soothing foot massage. We also provide the best organic supplements. We are located at number 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. Or call us at 288-1108 or 275-8359. Join us on the Street 919 FM every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for Health and Wealth Lifestyle with Nicole Huggins.
Ṣùbẹ̀lẹ́kẹ́, òkú ìgbọ́nà, bákèrè olówó ẹyọ, èṣù ní kórè wá, ẹlẹ́gbàrà ní kò bí lọ, bẹ́lẹ̀kẹ̀ ní dàrá orò sáwò nílé, èṣù máa ṣẹ́ mi, ọmọ ẹ̀lẹ́ omi, ní òṣè, Nobody can take my joy away. I am born to be happy. Every single wish I supply for me is enough to be jolly. Got no need to be worried, no. Cause life is a blessing, no. My life is a blessing, no. Eshudeo, 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 Asana. Eshudeo, Eshudeo, Eshudeo. Every morning I awake, I give thanks to my Lord. Eshudeo, who makes all doors open up for me. Bad energies, no room for you, oh no. All good things I must get through. Oh boy, hello, you run your shit. Ọlá ìlú, èṣù bá ní kọ̀ ọ̀wọ́ ìlú, òró ìlú, ọ̀lá ìlú, ọba ẹ̀ bọ̀rọ̀ nílẹ̀ kẹ́tù.
She says she's going to send something to her. I don't know if she send it yet.
Alafia.
And she's...
Alafia to all. We are here on the Orisha Way of Life show on the Shoot 919 FM. Alafia, Taziman. Well.
Testing. Testing. Check him out.
Testing.
Orisha Way of Life. Yeah.
When God bless a man, nothing must stop you. Yeah, when God bless a man, Satan may attack you. Yeah, hey,
I am Pastor Terrence Baines from Tobago, and I'm going to be on Iwer Stage on October 28th at 6 p.m. Lifting up and magnifying the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is going to be crazy. It's going to be something else. We're looking forward to seeing you. Tell your friends. Make sure you'll get locked on to Iwer Stage on the 28th of October at 6 p.m. Amen. You can't afford to miss it. Jesus Christ is Lord. When God bless our man, it's going to be something else. Trust me. Looking forward to seeing you. Bye-bye.
Streaming live on Instagram at Iwer George, Facebook Neil Iwer George, and YouTube Iwer TV. It's Iwer Stage.
The parang song is sweet. I love the bass and guitar. I want parang forever.
Yes, my friend invited me to a parang party. It was an all-inclusive soca parang party. And when I reached there, music at me ledger. I fell in love with the bass and everybody happy. Like Papi Lord, glad when it's Christmas time, glad when it's Christmas time. To the ghost tree they're going, the whole house they're painting, some sewing and cooking. Since July the wine set, the quattro start to echo. Ah, it's your boy Daddy Chinese, aka the crossover artist, aka the Parangdero. And here we're going on. You can catch me live in the Parang Jam, one-on-one on Iwer Stage, 8 p.m., 7th of November, streaming live on my Facebook page, Ricardo Melville, yes, my government name, on Instagram at Daddy Chinese, and on Facebook at Neil Iwer George, also on YouTube on Iwer TV, and Instagram at Iwer George. Tell a friend.
Streaming live on Instagram at Iwer George, Facebook Neil Iwer George, and YouTube Iwer TV. It's Iwer Stage.
I hear a ponging on me door, darling. Who you looking for? This is Kenny G, and I'm inviting you to my virtual Christmas performance on Saturday, the 31st of October 2020 from 8 p.m. in the comfort of your homes with family and friends. Streaming on Facebook at Iwer George and YouTube, on Iwer TV and Instagram at Iwer George. Feel free to make a donation. I want me brush, neighbor. Give me brush, neighbor.
Cause we come to mash it up, shell it down and turn it over. We come to mash it up, shell it down and turn it over. And now we mash it up, shell it down and turn it over. We come to mash it up, shell it down and turn it over.
Allah fair to all. We are here. We are here on the Orisha. We have life on a beautiful Monday on the Shit 919 FM. My guest today is the chief of the Rada Society of Trinidad and Tobago, Chief Henry Antoine, along with his
my understudy,
his understudy,
Anthony
Bullock, and my co-host, King Shaka, as always. We are here. We are here. You know how it goes, the Orisha Way of Life, the show where we educate, edify the listening public, and bring a sense of understanding so that we, the individuals of the diaspora, would not be fooled by the Western world of if Orisha, it is bad, it is not good. So, you know, each and every Monday, we are here between the hours of 7 to 9. And I'll keep saying, in order to keep this show here, it may be free for you watching at home. Don't mind, you have to pay for the internet and all these things, but it's also not free for us as well. So, you know, we keep asking for the donation to help the show, to keep the show going on every Monday, every month. I know somebody from the diaspora will show up one day and pay for a whole 6 months or a year. You know? So we keep saying that. I'd like to shout out to those on Facebook. You can stream us live on Facebook on the Shit 919 FM. You can also stream us on YouTube on Iwer TV. You know, so get on the live, share the live, and let's get right into it, you know. Shaka, take it away.
We give homage to Olodumare. We give homage to our Ori. We give homage to Orishanla. We give homage to Orunmila. We give homage to Yeyoshun. We give homage to Baba Yeshu. Homage to Baba Ogun. Homage to Baba Shango Kabesio. We give homage to our Ulowo, our Yanifa, our Ojo. We give homage to our parents. We give homage to our mothers. We give homage to our ancestors whose shoulders we stand upon, because we acknowledge that without our ancestors we would not be here. We give praise and thanks to all positive energies that are continuously guiding us and protecting us. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. And I ask too that all the missing children across this land of Trinidad and Tobago, may the perpetrators be brought to justice. Ashe, Ashe.
Ashe, I'd just like to say Alafia to Ari Falashe, Ogunleti, Pomeleri, Ishubaye, and members of the Mother Shrine located in Konopia, Yeoba, Odofem. I'd just like to say Alafia to each and every one. So, I'd just like to take it over to the head of the Rada Society in Trinidad and Tobago, Chief Henry Antoine.
Good night, sir.
Good night to you.
It's a pleasure to be here. And it has given us a sense of togetherness. Forget all about the Orisha, but the Rada is here.
For sure.
Just remember that. It's all about inclusion, not exclusion. And we're here to share with you and bring together the understanding of the Rada, which is the only Rada community in the Western Hemisphere. There is no other like us in Trinidad and Tobago. And we are glad to share it with you. I can tell you that my grandfather, who I've known very, very well, this was like sacred to him. It was not something that is shared, and as most people say, this is a hidden secret, because you don't hear anything much about the Rada. We have not commercialized it, I don't know if it's good or if it's bad, but it's something they have not done. And I can tell you in the very early, I think it was in the 50s, when a group of people came from America to do a documentary, and my grandfather refused to do it. They just said not for sale. And one has to be very careful how they're dealing with the ancestors.
Sure.
Has to be very, very careful what you do, how you do it, because there's consequences.
Sure.
And I have with me my cousin, who I was very fortunate and grateful to meet through the internet. And I guess he was searching as well as my other cousin, and we bounced up, and here we are. And I always say to people, my wife asks me all the time, what are you going to do when you pass without wishing? And it's a question that I always remember, that was answered when I met my cousin, who I tell people have all the characteristics of my father. And I'm happy to have him with us. And I can safely say that the RADA is in good hands.
Sure.
And I feel very comfortable leaving it in his hands.
Ben.
Yes. You can welcome yourself. You might go pick you up from there.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
My name is Anthony Pollock. I am a proud member of the RADA community in Trinidad. And I am happy to support Henry Antwine and all traditions of the West African background in Trinidad.
Ashe. So, Chief Antwine, I'll go straight into it. Who are the RADA people? Tell us about the origins of this beautiful community of people.
Well, my great-grandfather, whose name was Yawenu, Ajovi Zawenu, who came from West Africa in 1855, landed in Trinidad, and eventually that facility that you came on a couple of weeks ago,
yes,
he paid $135 for it. And that is over 150 years ago.
Sure.
So we are in existence for quite a long time. And I can risk to say we are one of the oldest African groups in Trinidad and Tobago. And he left a legacy for us to carry on, and we have been carrying it on since then. Anthony's great-grandfather was the first Hubunu, was the second Hubunu.
Just to educate those who listening on the outside, Hubunu?
Hubunu is like the high priest.
Okay, Hubunu, high priest.
In BENN, it's Hubunu.
Hubunu.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you may call it the high priest, right? And after we had Sogbo, which is his great-grandfather, Anthony's great-grandfather, and my grandfather took over in the 50s, somewhere in 53, until he passed in 2001. And he died at about 83. Zawenu died at about 108. They said the books have it like more like 108. My grandfather died at about 90. And we are long livers. and we want to make sure that this tradition live long enough that it will go from strength to strength. I leave this in the hands of Anthony. That is his troubles to keep it going. I have succeeded in mine to a great extent. Still have work to be done. But it's like a relay. It's going to be passed on to him. And he would have known enough to take it to the next level.
I must say, from that morning, Emancipation morning, I visited your spot, the Rada community spot.
Yeah.
I heard you speak about him, you know, about the ups and downs and the trials and tribulations that you and your people have went through, and how you came into contact with him and how we stuck and how we have been around, and you just come and attest to it here, you know. It shows that, Shaka, that the elder has safely trained the young one to carry forward.
He set him on the right foot.
Ashe.
He set him on the right foot.
The young one didn't just come out and say he ready. The elder realized. There's something that we keep. I'm just talking here because we are going to pay some bills, you know. Paying bills is a main part of it. So I'm just making up some time for us to go pay bills. And this is something that we keep hitting and trying to drive home here, that the elder, once the elder has given you that teaching and has said, all right, you are ready.
Yeah.
And a perfect example.
Yeah.
I heard it from him once, and now I'm hearing it from him. So people, it's all about Iwer Risha Way of Life right here on the Sheet 919 FM. We are here with the chief of the Rada community, Chieftain Henry Antoine, and his cousin. They get the name down back, you know what I mean?
Anthony Bullock.
Anthony Bullock. We are here. So we're going to pay some bills. I'm going to come right back at you. So those of you on Facebook, keep the questions. We'll be coming back. Orisha Way of Life on the Sheet 919 FM. We are here.
Renting a car in Tobago should be quick, affordable, and easy.
Wow.
Here at Oni Rentals, we make the process as simple as possible by using our easy e-sign-up. Yep, we can sign you up from just about anywhere using our tablets. See? All done. And everything goes straight into the cloud. Yeah, you're on your way. Are you coming to Tobago? Book your car rental with us and enjoy the most affordable rates in Tobago. But hurry, because cars go pretty fast. Call 361-1042. That's 361-1042. One more time, 361-1042. O'Neill Auto Rentals, Tobago, taking you further.
We know the street because we talk to the street.
Come talk with us on the Street 919 FM.
Yes, so we're back at it. I'll just like to shout out some of the sponsors who so far have been making this show a success. And we ask sponsors to come on and keep supporting it. This is our thing. You know, we're quick to support other people's business. This is our business. We need to support what is ours, right? So, sponsors, Nice Nuts, Quinlan brand bottle, coconut water. Contact number 716-6396. And if you want to know how good the coconut water that tastes, just check Angie St. Paul, who won the first questionnaire right here on the Sheet 919 FM. You know, the first Monday in each month, we'll be giving away something from one of his sponsors. Kamara's Culture Store, the #1 important supplier of genuine products from Africa, located at Adams Bazaar, Main Road, Shogunas. Numbers to call are 672-8438-320-8866. Gossip Gel Polish, Petty by Risi, located at Cipriani Boulevard, Port of Spain. Contact number 398-4474. Temple Ojuba, Orisha Umelo, Egypt Village, Shogunas. Banjala Music Productions and Media Services. Nubian Experience. And Nichols Huggins Wellness Spa, located in Barataria. And also, we have some sponsors, not every month. You know, we in trying times, we in a pandemic, not every month we may get sponsorship from all the sponsors, but we ask some people to come on board. Let your business be heard on the Sheet 919 FM. It's very reasonable to get ad, to do a voice, you know, so contact us. Shaka,
We also have Omo Inu, the Women's Haven distributor for Trinidad. Their contact number is 365-4332. 365-4332. They're on Facebook and on Instagram, Women's Haven, Omo Inu. We also have the Lock Duck, 683-9268. They are also on Facebook and on Instagram, the Lock Doctor. And the Oshun Ogun Vegetable Mart on Umera Road, Arima. Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna go right back at it. Chief Henry Antoine, through colonialism, a lot of our sacred and ancestral practices have been distorted to a great extent. How have the Rada community managed to keep the ancestral practices as pure as it is practiced in Benin?
Well, I can tell you, first of all, I just came back from Benin in January, where I was told by the king of Benin that what we are doing right now, the drums that we are beating, is ancient drums. And I was asked by a number of people if we would change as time goes on. There's nothing like changing as far as I'm concerned. This is what was given to us, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to continue beating the drums that is ancient, as you said. They don't even beat it in Benin anymore.
Wow.
We were there and they said, Ajovi. They call me Ajovi in Benin. They say we don't beat that anymore. We had a lecture at the library on Abercrombie Street.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to the audience, and I told them the story where my grandfather did not want anybody to come on the compound or come to the voodoo. No. You call it feast. We call it voodoo. No.
So voodoo no.
That's the
is
name.
Similar.
Is what we have. Voodoo no. People is afraid to use the word voodoo. But if you go back to Benin, you would find out how serious it is, and to see the white folks is grabbing at it. And I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, the white folks is grabbing at it. They push aside the blacks and the African people, and they go into front.
And that's as serious.
And that is serious as far as I'm concerned. What we don't want, or don't want to respect, they are grabbing at it.
It's the truth.
And I'm saying to you, as I said to my cousin and quite a few people who said they want to go back when we are going, you have to experience this.
Sure.
I can only tell you so much, but there's much more for you to experience. You understand? And we saw some things in Africa that give you goosebumps.
Wow.
Most importantly, to be able to meet our family or blood family was very emotional.
I could only imagine.
I don't know if I cry, but water comes down my eyes. And all they were telling us, don't wipe it, let it flow. So, to keep the pureness or the identical things that they have left for us, we just have to keep practicing it.
Ashe.
And,
continuity.
As I said, continuity. As I said before, I never asked my cousin to take over. I told him, you have to take over. Up to now, you haven't said yes or no. He never answered me. But he's right there.
Sense.
And I can sense it. I can sense it that he's into it.
But he doesn't talk much.
He don't say much.
Since I was there Emancipation morning, I arrived there at 1, and between 1 and 6, I did not hear him speak. He came here and he still has not spoken.
He has all the characteristics of my father. My father would have loved to have him. I'm telling you, he is a true Antwine to the bone.
And you know what is beautiful too is that they made that connection on Facebook.
Yes.
And that is not something that happened just so. The ancestors made sure that that connection had to happen.
Well, he would be able to tell you more about that connection because I was not the one who connected it. It's another cousin of mine who lives in Canada with me, who made the connection with him and told me when I come to Trinidad, I have to call this person.
That was some, if I could just chime in here.
Yeah.
The connection he's talking about occurred several years ago. I think it was around 2011 or 2012. Right? And it was with a cousin called Cheryl. You asked two questions I wanted to assist with the answer. The first one was, who are the Rada? The word Rada is really a corruption of another word called Alada.
Alada.
Right? And Alada is a geographical area in the west of Africa, covering places like Togo, Benin, and I think part of Nigeria. And in Trinidad, because the word became anglicized, it got a sort of English ring to it. The term Alada eventually belonged to Rada. And in that geographical area of West Africa, you'll find ethnic groups such as the Fun and Ewe.
Fun and Ewe?
Yeah, or Ewe Fun. Right? And they occupy Benin, modern day Benin. In the 19th century, it was called Dahomey. And they also occupy parts of Ghana and parts of Togo. Why is the term Rada of importance in Trinidad? That's related to your first question. Who are the Rada? In the 19th century, Trinidad society was very different. And people of African descent, or Africans, West Africans who occupied Trinidad, existed in ethnic groups. So in Belmont, for instance, you had whole swathes of Belmont Valley that were occupied by Yoruba people. You had other areas that were occupied by Rada, and by that we mean people who came from Benin. And then in parts of Success, until you had people who came from the Congo, right? And in Trinidad, back to the Rada, there were several. Today we know of one group that survived what existed in the 19th century. That is the Antwine family, the group that exists in Belmont Valley Road, Antwine Lane. But it's important to mention that in the 19th century, there were different Rada groups and different yards where Rada traditions, or what we call Rada traditions today, were practiced. Henry took me some years ago to a place in Malik, Barataria.
Yes.
Right. Where an Agassi, that is a wife of the Voodoo Agay, she had a yard there.
Yes. And
we know that there were yards in Bella Road, because I think Uncle Vernon told me about that.
Yeah.
And there was a yard in South Trinidad. I'm not exactly sure where. When I say a yard, I mean a place where...
A compound.
Yeah, a compound, but also a place where certain spiritual rites and practices occur. In Trinidad, we are familiar with Orisha, right? And in days old, we used to call them Shango Baptists, right? I know that's a sort of a forbidden term now. But when I say yard, with respect to the Rada, I'm talking about areas where the Reformed spiritual system was practiced. And a general word for that is voodoo, right? Which means spirit, simply.
So as you're there, I just want to bring any people on Facebook, because the comments and the questions come in very rapid tonight. Ajebo Tifa says, the energy of voodoo, why persons are so afraid of even practicing it is the energy so powerful than the Orishas. And she says again, is there an insignificance between Ishu Orisha and Baron Simidi?
No, the latter question she's asking about Haitian voodoo.
Okay.
Right? And I am not sufficiently experienced or versed to tell you anything about Haitian voodoo. What I do know about Haitian voodoo is that the voodoo that they practice there is really a conglomeration of different West African practices as well as some aspect of Amerindian practice. There is no Baron Samedi that is acknowledged in the Rada Yard in Trinidad. And with respect to the first part of your question about why people are afraid of the term voodoo or voodoo practices, let me put it this way. You will observe in the West that people are generally afraid of West African traditions, spiritual traditions. What we call voodoo and what we do in the yard in Belmont is very similar to what Ifa practitioners do in Trinidad.
Okay.
It is very similar to what Orisha, or to use an old colloquial term, Shango Baptist people do in Trinidad. Right? And therefore, the prejudice and the suspicions and the miseducation and the misinformation that exists with respect to Ifa and Orisha or Shango Baptist groups in Trinidad also exists with respect to people who say and who in fact practice what we call and what we know as voodoo. Right? So there's that general suspicion, and it is an aspect of what it is explicable by understanding the effects of colonialism. Right? Another aspect of it, of course, is that the term voodoo or voodoo has been demonized for well over a century in the West. We know about Hollywood, we know about the books and so on, and we know about the central role that Christianity played and certain practices of Christianity in the West, and how certain practitioners of Christianity viewed West African groups. And I must point out, because one of the questions that you asked was about maintaining the purity of practice here with what exists in Benin. It's also important to mention that colonialism did not only affect us in the diaspora. Colonialism has affected the residents or the populations in Benin and in Nigeria.
Yes, facts.
You will find in Nigeria more Muslims and more Christians, and you will find people who say that they are adherents of traditional beliefs. Right? That's my answer to the question.
So is it that the colonialism attitude was more enforced on that side of the world than it was enforced on this side of the world?
But before he answers that, Anthony was saying before that people seem to be very scared of voodoo. Mm-hmm. Not only in Trinidad. I went to South Africa. My wife and I, now I'm the president of the World Carnival Commission, and we went to establish and to develop a carnival in South Africa. And while I was there, traveling to the function, to the facilities where it was held, there was, and this conference was for African countries. A lady from Nigeria. We put on some CDs in the bus of Sparrow singing and so on. And this lady was singing all the songs. African woman. So I said, do you know Sparrow? She said, oh, yes, when he comes, I go to see him all the time. I, with my fast self, say to her, well, I want to exhibit my Africanism. I said, well, you know, my great-grandfather came from Benin. He said, oh, you have to afraid those people. They could stay from far and kill you. So I'm just showing you, I keep my mouth shut after that. Yeah. My wife and I never say another word to her. So it is also something that the people is afraid of, even in other parts of Africa.
It's a dangerous stereotype propagated again for us African people to be afraid of what is ours so that the others could grab it up, as I said, and make full use
of it,
of what is for us. You see how this thing is a serious,
answer
thing.
your question, Anthony.
I'm sorry, I forgot what it was.
Okay. But since he cannot remember, can you join with me? Or do you think what you've heard, the ancestors have sent the right person to us?
Is it true?
After listening to the few words that you said?
Yes. Yes. Was the question I asked, is it that colonialism was more prevalent and more enforced on that side of the world than it was here?
Well, I don't know if it is possible to make a comparison to say that colonialism was greater in West Africa than it was in the West, in what we call the diaspora here in the Western Hemisphere. Listen, history teaches us that at one point in time, every country from Alaska, or one of the states of America, go all the way down to Antarctica, belong to some European power here. Every single country. And history also tells us that the European nations in the late 19th century sat down around a table and divided up Africa. Right? So they decided who was going to get Nigeria, who was going to get Ghana, who was going to get Congo, and so on. Those decisions by European powers and what happened in the West are what has contributed, or what have contributed to the beliefs that people have today. Right? So I don't know if it is possible to say that there was greater colonialism on the West African continent than it was here. I think for us as descendants of West Africans in the diaspora, what is significant is to try to understand how that experience has shaped the views that we have in the West and the views of those who, as my friend here said, who enforce and who perpetrate stereotypes.
But you got to understand, well, first of all, I have a good friend who is a judge in Alaska. And he has more historical documents of Trinidad and Tobago and of West Africa or Africa. His name is Ray Funk. Check him out on the internet. And he deals very heavily with the African tradition. He was a judge in Alaska. He comes here for carnival, and they all respect him for the amount of information that he can share with us. That when he found out that I was in BENN, he called me and he said, I saw an advertisement on the internet with you in BENN and you never told me this. And he has made it a commitment that when we are going back, he's going to go back with us. And he's going to do a documentary with the Africans, and he's going to come in the yard and check it out.
That's beautiful.
But it's like trial and tribulations. Okay. My great grandfather, what he went through was a terrible situation. Then Dr. Hollis, Liverpool, did a presentation of him when we celebrated 150 years. And he said he shaped black people in Trinidad and Tobago. And I can say Dr. Hollis, Liverpool, said that in his studies. In making his presentation, he said Jovi shaped black people in Trinidad and Tobago. He also went through some serious situation. He was a herbalist. used to read and can tell you the features, so and so. And he got locked up for practicing obia.
when Henry says he was a herbalist, he was more than that. He was he was in fact a bokono.
A bokono.
Which in Benin is a priest who was initiated into Fa. What in Nigeria it was Ifa. Right? So when he came here, he eventually came here with two male Vudusis from Benin. And the reason I was explaining before the significance, the historical significance of the Rada group. When he came here in the latter part of the 19th century, he and another leader had certain run-ins with the law. Because at the time, of course, Trinidad was a colony of England. And there were certain laws there were certain statutes which were designed to frustrate African traditions and African religious practices. One of them prevented the beating of drums.
Yes.
One of them said that you couldn't practice ubia, whatever that means. And Abujevi found himself the victim of an agent provocateur, a policeman pretending to come here for spiritual advice. Right? Only to go and arrest him and say that he was practicing obia. And he was convicted. I tell you the year just now. And sentenced to imprisonment and certain strokes.
So he was charged and imprisoned for practicing
with strokes.
With strokes.
He got 4.
What year that was?
1868.
1868.
Yeah.
But actually, no. I'm not sure it was in 1868, but in 1868 he successfully appealed. Right?
And won.
So you know what going on, Shaka, if that law was still in effect, you know what going on in Trinidad?
Well, interestingly, the law only came off of the books really in 2001.
So when you hold that point right there, we're going for a break, we're going to pay some bills, we're going to come right back at you with the Orisha way of life.
Interesting.
Very interesting tonight here with the Rada community.
Let's talk on the streets.
The official station that defends the nation.
Hey guys, it's Aisha Wells here. Listen up. If you're considering selling or renting your house in Trinidad and Tobago, then call Keelan George with O'Neill's Real Estate Group. He's a good friend of mine and he's been in the business for over 6 years. First, selling real estate in Atlanta, Georgia, and now right here in Trinidad and Tobago. He has a strategic online marketing presence that actually attracts thousands of home buyers and renters. Plus, with his home selling advice and techniques, he's getting homes sold really fast. Keelan will actually guarantee you sell your home, or get this, you can cancel the listing agreement and pay nothing at any time. That's right, you heard me, nothing at any time. Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, people. Check out www.o'neillrealestatetT.com. O'Neill is spelled O-N-E-I-L, or just call Keelan direct at 363-4030. That's 363-4030.
Trinidad and Tobago, you are in for a treat.
A Christmas treat. This year, tune into 919 FM
to experience a radio production event never heard of or seen before in Trinidad and Tobago.
For the next 91 days, turn on Street 919 FM for a true Trini Christmas every day.
Teaching you what a Trini Christmas is all about. From October 1st to December 31st, enjoy daily
Christmas recipes,
Christmas greetings and blessings.
Yeah. This is Uncle Crazy Boy. Merry Christmas.
Christmas stories from the greats.
And of course,
Parang Soca, and homegrown Christmas classics.
It's a true Trini Christmas
on the street, 91.9 FM. Crazy! For 91 days.
Don't miss a minute of it.
The Parang song is sweeter. I love the bass and guitar. I want Parang forever.
Yes, my friend invited me to a Parang party. It was an all-inclusive soca Parang party. And when I reached here, music at me leisure. I fell in love with the bass. Everybody happy.
like Papi Lord. Glad when it's Christmas time, glad when it's Christmas time. To the ghost tree they're going, the whole house they're painting, some sewing and cooking. Since July the wine set, the quattro start to echo. Ah, it's the boy Daddy Chingy, aka the crossover artist, aka the Parangero. And here we're going on. You can catch me live in the Parang Jam, one-on-one on Iwer Stage, 8 p.m., 7th of November, streaming live on my Facebook page, Ricardo Melville, yes, my government name, on Instagram at Daddy Chiney, and on Facebook at Neil Iwer George, also on YouTube on Iwer TV, and Instagram at Iwer George. Tell a friend.
Streaming live on Instagram at Iwer George, Facebook Neil Iwer George, and YouTube Iwer TV. It's Iwer Stage.
The Gospel of the Kingdom radio program with Gilbert James is now on the Street 919 FM every second, third, and fourth Thursday from 8 to 9 p.m. and every first and third Sunday from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. Monday. The Bible says, the Gospel of the Kingdom shall be preached in all the world as a witness to all nations, and then the end shall come. For more info, call 652-0924 or 298-4540 and join us every second, third, and fourth Thursday from 8 to 9 p.m. and every first and third Sunday from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. Monday for the Gospel of the Kingdom radio program with Gilbert James.
Keeping your micro, small, or medium-sized business connected is more important than ever. Whether it's in the office, in the waiting room, or between the aisles, there is a solution for you. Keep yourself and your customers online with unlimited internet and Wi-Fi access, and get 24/7 technical support. With a personalized account manager, there's always someone to advise you as your business grows and your needs change. Starting from $199 per month, pay a year in advance and get 3 months absolutely free with our convenient online and offline payment options. So don't wait. Call us today at 320-8006. Green Dot, improving and simplifying lives.
Come talk with us. Realest News, Hard Talk, Real Talk on the Street 919 FM.
Yes, so we're back here. We shall we have life on the Street 919 FM. Myself, Alatu Mishe Ifaba Mishe Aganti, MC Duke, and my co-host King Shaka. Tonight in company I have Chieftain Henry Antoine and Mr. Bollocks. I need to get the first name. From the Rada community. Yeah. So I just like you to finish on, we are speaking about just now about the strokes, and then we'll go to the Facebook comments.
So the first incident, well, the one that we were speaking about was where the founder, the person we call the founder, Abu Javi Zafino, who was also known as Papa Nani. You know Paniza, where there was a Papa Nani. Right? Mm-hmm. I have before me the newspaper where the case was reported in 1886, 30th of September 1886. And under the heading Obia it says, on Wednesday last, one John Antoine, alias Nani, was sentenced by Mr. Arthur Child for Port of Spain to 6 months imprisonment and 36 lashes for working Obia. We are informed that among the different objects found by the police at his dwelling were lists of the names of some of the leading citizens of Port of Spain. Wow. The case has excited much comment among the lower classes who attribute many marvelous cures to Antoine. The prisoner gave notice of appeal. He received some of the strokes and he was successful in the appeal. I think he was compensated for the strokes that he received. $40. But this is just an illustration of what took place in the 19th century with respect to the Rada, and of course we all know it happened with other groups in Trinidad as well.
I must say, I'm just going to run through some of the comments here on Facebook. We're streaming live on Facebook, Street 919 FM. The Rada from Fiola Rada. The Rada community have a structure that is why it's still here and carry on the traditions. No water down. Someone says in 1870 the Rada community had their own merchant bank for their people. Is this currently in existence in Trinidad or it's a work in progress?
Well, It's not in existence.
It's not in existence anymore.
No.
She says again, yes, the beating of drums are different. Orisha Lashe Ugunlina Ugunlady says, it's always a pleasure to have Chief Antoine. Henry Antoine as a guest at Egbe Unasin in Ludumari. Rather is cool, Petwa is hot. The energy of voodoo, why persons are so afraid of even practicing, it is the energies. Is the energy so powerful than of Orishas? Going through. So can you tell us what spirits or energies you work with in Trinidad when you have voodoo feasts? Yeah, Ajay Bernard says, Ikale to everyone. Yeah, Ajay Bernard says, yes, this is much needed information, mostly to the young ones who don't know the struggles associated with the tradition. When persons have this type of knowledge, they will make a better effort in practice, in protecting what our ancestors left. Ifasiun says, blessed night to all. And Ziga Reed says, the old summary of Offences Act, assumption of supernatural powers of knowledge, superstition devices, 43.1. Any person who by the practice of obia, or by any occult means, or by any assumption of supernatural power of knowledge, intimidates or attempts to intimidate any person, obtains or endeavors to obtain any chattel money or valuable security from any other person, or pretends to discover any treasure or any loss or stolen goods, or the person who tolerates the same or to inflict any disease, loss, damage, or personal injury to upon any other person, or to restore any other person to health, and any person who procures, counsels, induces, or persuades, or endeavors to persuade any other person to commit any such offense is liable to imprisonment for 6 months and subject to corporal punishment acts, may be sentenced to undergo corporal punishment, and if a female may, during such imprisonment, be kept in solitary confinement not exceeding 3 days at any one time and not exceeding 1 month in the whole as such magistrate shall direct. Even Mother Connacht's time, courts of law was charging spiritual people for witchcraft. And Ziga Reed says offenses. And Ziga Reed says here again, articles using obia and witchcraft may be seized. 44, where it is shown upon the oath of a credible witness that there is reasonable cause to suspect that any person is in possession or any article or thing used by him in the practice of obia or witchcraft may justice may, by warrant underhand, cause any place whatsoever belonging to. Fiola Rada says here again, yes, the story must be told by us first before the documentary and could be edited. Your reach is very important, MC Duke. The story must be told. Nothing happened before its time. The Rada community owned their property, and the only community with its own burial ground. And Ziga Reed says, repealed by Miscellaneous Laws Act 2000, thanks to the hard work of our elders and ancestors, Ashe, we give praise. Mimi says, laugh out, some couldn't. They would have stand guard outside when they reach, or to do a dance. Iajay Bernard, tell Chief Henry, Warrior Empress sends her love. So I must say, again, each segment of the show, each interview, each time folks come here, it is always interesting. Yeah. Always. And I must say, you have opened a door here that, trust me, like people wanted this door open for a while, you know. So keep it coming, because trust me, if, as I say, in 2001, this
there was
taken off the books.
There were different versions of the prohibition and different statutes, right? From the 19th century up until 2001. Yeah. And in 2001, there was an amendment to the Summary Offences Act. That was by Act number 85 of 2000. It repealed Section 63 of the Summary Offences Act, Chapter 1102. And that was the last piece of legislation which appear to be directly targeted towards what we do. And what people of, when I say we, I mean people of West African descent in Trinidad who still hold on to some aspect of traditional spiritual practice, religious practice.
Well, I got a copy. A friend took me to the police headquarters, the department that deal with culture. And when he introduced me to the person in charge, he said, from Belmont, I said, yes. He took out a book and he copied a page where there was a law where you can only beat drums from 6 in the morning until 10 at night. And that was imposed on us. And we still carry it all the way of the books.
Was it imposed on the Rada community alone or the whole diaspora?
Well, the law was not just on the Rada. I think they made a general statement, and it is because of what happened with us and the beating of the drums. We had an incident where they came in and they stopped the drums from beating, and they took one of the powers in manifestation to the station and locked Belmont Station. They were locked up, and about an hour or so after they came back in power, put the drums up and tell them to beat. And they started to beat. The police came back. And when he came back, they confronted him at the door and beat the chest. And he ran. And a few weeks after, they called us and they talked about the beating of the drums. And they said that the arrangement was we can beat from 6 in the morning until 10 at night. If you want to beat later than that, you have to apply for a license. We applied for a license a couple of times, I could remember, but we never go past midnight. But the time that they gave us is from 6 in the morning, and that's when we do our offering in the morning, and you could beat up till 10 at night, but we don't beat all through the day. So in the evening, we start around 7, and at 10 o'clock we're finished. We still keep that. We don't go till 1, 2, 3 in the morning. No. We finish at 10.
You see these struggles that brought us where we are right now, and we tend to disrespect and feel everything is a joke, and you know, the drum, look just what Chief Henry Antoine saying about the struggles where the drum came from. So no, you could beat drum anytime.
And not only that, you could even have people go around to palaces and shrines and teach youths how to even make a drum and beat a drum of all size and shape.
Everyone Redman Watson was here and he spoke about that.
But you know, the drums that we beat are totally different to what they should be.
Okay. We have a little hour so before we switch over to David Mohammed and the Black Agenda. Let we go into a little in depth. I know it's not enough time, but you know, just to grasp and get the listening public to understand what sort of energies do the Rada community work with.
I don't want to sensationalize anything. I know there are a lot of I know in Trinidad whether we are adherents of Trinidad or Risha or we like to see power. You go to a feast and you see power come. You go to a feast and you see no power, you're vexed. You go back home vexed.
Shaka shake here, yes.
A lot of people are at times very
upset,
fanatical. You know, they want to see a something.
Right, but
no disrespect.
But that's Trinidad. That's Trinidad for you. That's Trinidadians, right? But you know, I don't want to sensationalize. I'll give you a bit of the answer. We believe in one God. That's as Ifa do, right? And there are different names for one God. And the Ifa system is known as Uldumare. In Benin, he's known, depending on the geographical location, as either Maulisa, right? Or specific to a Stara segment, right? Then there are what we call saints or gurus or spirits, because we also believe that under this one God there are different entities. Who you call Ishu, the closest thing we have to him, the divine messenger, the person who is the link between the world of the mortals and the world of the immortals. We will call him Elegba. Right? The god of war, Ugu. You say Ogun, we say Ugu. Ugu, without the N. In the time of COVID, we know about Shakpana. We call him Sakpata. Right? The god of epidemics and disease and so on, god of the earth. Right? There was a time in Trinidad where we, both in the Orisha system and in the Nevada system, we placed emphasis on aligning the African powers with Christian seeds. So you, in traditional Trinidad Orisha worship, there's a Saint Dan, a saint, right? And who has Manja, Yemanja, Yemoya. We call her Agwe. Right? And it is also Saint Dan. Yes. You refer to Saint Philomene traditionally as Ushun. We call her Naite.
Yes.
Right? So a lot of the, now that doesn't mean that there is exact alignment between rather gurus and Orishas, right? But over the years people have been able to discern a lot of similarity between what they would see in Ifa yards or Orisha yards and what they would see in traditional, in the Rada yard. That's it. I mean, there's a long line. The pantheon is you call Shango St. John, we call Sobo St. John. Sobo comes, Sobo dances with an axe. Right? When Shango comes, Wakoso, he dances with a double-edged axe. Right?
So, what doctrine you all use as your point of spirit, you all guide, like what book or
there's
doctrine where you would derive, the morals and the spiritual principles and the essences of these energies from what is this doctrine sourced from?
Well, one of the things that define, it would seem, a lot of West African groups is not writing.
Okay.
So there is no book that I'm aware of that records, well, maybe there's a book now, but traditionally there was no book that recorded Ifa traditions or so on, or what we may call the word doesn't come to mind now, but it's the same thing in Benin. There was no book, right? But people did divination, just as you do in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I mentioned that our founder in Belmont, Daniel Kome, right, that he had known as Daniel Kome, he was a Vokono. Right? It's important to point out that over the years, the members of the Rada community have practiced human Catholicism alongside Rada traditions.
As a form of syncretism.
Yes, but it's a strange form of syncretism because one of the comments here was that the Rada yard is the only yard where you see something pure handed out from one tradition to the next, because it's like Tuesday night you go to Mass, Wednesday night it's a complete switch, a complete mental, physical.
And what is that?
It's a bit.
How would you explain that?
What I can tell you is that the extent to which that has been practiced over the years and the extent to which it remains today is not the same.
I understand.
So that you find that among elders, they were more willing to make that kind of an association between the African saints and the Roman Catholic saints, whereas younger generations, perhaps because of the changes that occurred in Trinidad society, don't easily make those identifications. So younger people may not necessarily see Sowa as being St. John. We understand what happened historically,
BENN,
right? We don't see, we don't know St. Michael necessarily as being
like someone is asking you, do you have Mami Wata as well?
Not in, no. Voodoo is a highly personal thing, right? So the powers that we have, or the saints that were recognized, that were passed down from one generation to the next in our yard, did not include Mami Water.
Very, 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 very interesting night, and you know, a lot of information. I read because I was there on Emancipation Republic morning with the Sheshe, the you know, I called you, someone told me about it, I called you, I said who I am, you was very polite, you welcomed me into the space, you know. It was really good, a lot of elders, a lot of information was passing, and the ritual that I saw is very similar to rituals that are being done in our Risha space, you know, Risha yard, you know, and I didn't feel no how, I didn't feel uncomfortable, you know. He didn't speak, you know. Still he didn't speak, you know. You was the person talking, we had a sip of a wine, you know, a very strong wine, you know what I mean? Like,
something,
yeah, like I feel that is a cure for COVID too, you know, because Shaka, it was like about minutes of 4.
Yes.
And I drank this, and I just feel like
it passed you every vein in your body.
And he just like, yeah, man, what? So I said, I'm gonna drink some. Yeah, take your time with that. Take your time. You know, and it was good. It was good. It was well accepted, and I must say, it is being shown here by the viewers on Facebook. You know, so give us some more. And the information, people, you can call us on 342-0081, that's 342-0081. You can call me, my WhatsApp number 771-1791, 7719-1791, and 466-5391, where you can direct your questions straight to the members of the RADA community. They are here, lots and lots of information.
I must tell you, the lady that made that wine, her name is Aquila.
Aquila.
From St. Anne's.
From St. Anne's.
And that is over a year old.
The wine?
Yes, she made it for us last year, and it was used that morning.
No, so, Shaka, any questions?
I just want to know. Now, I know that you all went to Benin last year, it was.
I didn't go. The elders went.
I know they are right. What inspired that trip back in 2019?
First, let me say this. The first person that tried to do this, the late Carl Whitaker, he was a professor at the university at St. George.
Chief Antoine, sir, this is where the calls come rapid, so...
And...
you just like to take these calls.
Okay, go ahead.
Rabo Yabo Shishi. Caller.
This is Iya Ajay Tomobi.
Yes, Iya.
Yeah, just want to say special greetings to you and the guests, even onto your co-host. You know, it's always a pleasure listening to Chief Antoine and you know, the history. It's such rich history about the RADA community. Of course, I've been to the yard on more than one occasion, and I was so amazed to find out that, you know, they were able to preserve their cemetery, their burial ground. I was so impressed with that. Of course, it didn't come easy, and it would have taken a lot of lobbying, etc., not to mention calling upon their ancestors, but, you know, this is remarkable, and I must say to you, Baba Antoine, You know, we are blessed to have you still in the land of the living. And, you know, we should absorb like sponge all the information you have to give, you know. We should really absorb all this knowledge. And who knows? I know you, before COVID, was it last year that you would have journeyed to BENN? And I think, if I remember well, it's supposed to be a excursion, sort of a continuous journey. And hopefully, I would like to be on that trip when next you'll visit. But again, thank you, Chief Antoine, and to your, I can't remember his name next to you there.
Anthony,
yes. Continue the great work. I mean, I really missed coming to the yard this year, but we know, you know, the divine energy is in control. And may you be strengthened, may you have good health to remain much, much more longer with us in the land of the living. And to you, the host there, and your co-host, continue doing a fabulous job.
Thank you. Thank you, yeah.
What's your name and phone number?
Yeah, I'll give that to you.
Because we are taking the amount of people that has mentioned to us that they want to go on the next trip. So we are putting it in a book, and we are going to contact you guys as soon as we have this COVID is finished.
Don't forget me, no?
As soon as the COVID is finished, we will continue that journey.
If we make that trip, when we reach Benin, we shall we have life over there too, you know? Yes. We're streaming live over there, you know? I don't thinking about doing, you know, it's expanding and making people aware, you know, educating, you know. So I just touching on those on the Facebook page. Even Ifa is an oral tradition, information handed down verbally by elders, right? If one is interested in the tradition, what are the do's and the don'ts about the Rada practices?
The Rada welcome everyone. There's no exclusion is inclusion. We include everybody. You don't have to be like a member. No. You come in our yard and you could participate. One thing we know, and you would recognize those who have come in the past, there's no joking around in our yard. No messing around. It's a serious affair. And we start like that and we end like that. But everybody is welcome.
True.
Those who are not welcome, they will be excluded on their own. Nobody have to put them out.
Very well said, very well said. So people call us upon 342-0081, 342-0081, and 771-1791, 771-1779. That's our WhatsApp number. Next number to call 466-5391, where you can send your questions to Mr. Anthony Bullock and Chieftain Henry Antoine of the Rada community. They are here. And as Chieftain Henry Antoine says, all are welcome. All. Shaka?
Well,
questions?
This is a very, very, very good history class right now, because I am still taken aback that this group of people have their own burial ground. I mean, out of most of the ethnic groups in Trinidad, can I say that this is one of the only groups who have managed to have their own
yes, you can say that. Yes. We had petitions already to close it down.
I call you.
And the government.
Hello, fair caller.
Hello, are you getting any feedback?
No, you're good.
I didn't join the program from the very beginning, but I'll tell you something. When I was a little girl, my father used to take us to what we call Shango, and there is a chant that to me, I would mention to you is phonetically what I heard. It went something like this. Oh, Quemio, Imanja, they want Quemio. Could you translate that for me? And apart from that, the Orisha is an African religion, right?
Yes.
And so is Voodoo, also in Haiti.
No, I will leave that for Mr. Bullock to answer.
Okay, I always feel so proud about Haiti that they did not allow the European and the missionaries to turn their head against their African religion. But with regard to that little chant I sang, translate it for me, because that is what I used to hate. Oh, Quemio, Imanja, they want Quemio. Okay, I'll hang up and listen.
What I'll do, Kola, I understand, you know what, the language, we all have different ways to sing it, but I clearly understand that you are singing for Manja.
Yes.
So what I'll do, my number is 3494121. I'll send you this song, and also I'll flip it for you to understand.
And I think you could also play it while you break. I don't know if you want.
Nah, I had
audio.
Yeah, we'll fix that. But Mr. Balak, if you want to take a go at the question
about the Haitians and whether it's the same voodoo as
yeah.
Well, I started out by saying that voodoo simply means spirit, right? And it is a spiritual practice or spiritual or religious tradition that existed in certain countries in West Africa. What the Haitians have today is a mixture of the religious and spiritual traditions of a number of different ethnic groups from West Africa, as well as some aspect of what they found in Santo Domingo or Hispaniola when they arrived there. So what I call Amerindian traditions. Now you will also know, or may know, that a lot of Haitians consider themselves to be, or people regard Haiti as being 75% Roman Catholic and 100% Voodoo. So people practice their Roman Catholicism alongside Haitian Voodoo in Haiti as well. But it's not exactly the same here. It's not the same. And the truth is that in the places in West Africa where the tradition still survives, you will not find the same practice in Ouida as you may find in Cotonou or Abomey, a different part of Benin. That's just the nature of our tradition.
The next call coming here. Hello, fair caller.
Good evening.
Could you take down your listening device, please?
No.
Yes, caller.
Hello.
Yes, caller. Hello, fair.
The radar, it is the same radar in Benin Road?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Oh. Because I visited many times. I know the family, the Antoine family. Yeah.
What's your name?
My name is Francis.
Francis.
I know the Antoine family.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Henry.
I am Henry.
Had one who sell beef in the market.
That's me and my father.
Hmm?
That's my father and I.
Oh, I know them. All right, then I'm listening.
Okay.
Thanks for the call, caller.
Yeah.
Right, just had to touch on the comments, Facebook. Ifa Bonmi Rhonda Valentine Charles says, good evening to Uncle Henry and my cousin Anthony.
Good evening, Rhonda.
Good evening also to the host and co-host.
Pleasant night.
And
You know, you were still on the line there. Sorry about that. Caller, so one next question for you, Mr. Bullock. What is the RADA community view on youth development?
We support it in every aspect, in every way. We think, probably I shouldn't speak for the entire community or attempt to do so, but I think that an important aspect of youth development in Trinidad requires solid grounding in spirituality. Especially amongst West African or descendants of West Africans. It is something that is really missing. And perhaps it explains a lot of the problems that we face in our society today. From crime to broken homes to many, many things. Many of the social ills that we face can be remedied in part by a return to some form of basic spirituality.
My next question is, what is your vision for the RADA community in Trinidad and Tobago going forward?
Well, that's a part of the development process, because the young people today, and I'm saying this sadly, some of us seem to be lost. Some of them seem to be a little lost. And lost from the point of view, from an ignorant point of view. And when I say ignorant, I mean in true sense, lack of knowledge. And so we need to sensitize our people. We need to have the patience to let them know where we are, where we are going, where we came from. And I'm sure that we'll get them to come along. I had an incident in a particular barnyard with a gentleman who they say is so bad. And I saw him behaving, and my friend, I won't even call his name on the air, told me, leave that man, he's a bad man. And I went and I sat down next to him where he was standing, and when he looked around, I said, son, come, sit down, let me talk to you. I spoke with him. And when I was finished talking to him, he went to my wife and he told my wife, Daddy touched me deep in my heart. I had to change my ways. And every time I go in that barnyard, he makes sure and he go and he asks a particular person, did Pops come as yet? And my wife is telling me, go and look for your friend. But it's all about sensitizing. It's how you... The name of the game is respect, which is lost to a great extent in my country. And if we are able to come back and gain that word we call respect. When I was growing up, I was brought up by a community.
Yes.
Everybody was uncle and auntie.
Again, I call it.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, yes, caller, you're live. 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I'm listening to the program. I'm not too long tuning, but the song is very interesting. Always relating about black consciousness and the reality of what's going on amongst the black community with black youth and things. That is the topic.
The topic is on the RADA community in Trinidad and Tobago.
The RADA community?
Yes.
When you say the RADA community, like, RADA in the terms of, like, good or towards culture or what it is, the RADA to...
It clearly shows that you're now tuning, caller, you know.
Yeah, not too long tuning in, but it's sounding interesting, so I'm trying to... Because if it's, like, relating on the issues that are relating You know, I just have a lot to say about that because I, as a black conscious person and as a singer, you know, I have a cry in my heart every day for the things that is being seen amongst the younger people in the I had to say the music industry, or the music industry does really guide and lead the other youths. And it's something I'm crying for a lot, but I just wish some of the people who into black consciousness could take that serious. Because you see, the young people, look right now, days and nights I've been working with one set of, I had to say, the hardcore rhythm and them where I hear they're using, where they have a lot of gun song on. These music so high and so rich in spiritual energy that we need to transform it. So that's why I'm doing, working on music, you know, that they have and putting consciousness in it, and it's solely music taking it nice.
Well,
like it creates.
Let me bring you up to date so that you be on the same page with us. We're talking about the Rada community coming from Benin in West Africa, and we have been able to maintain the tradition from 1855 to today. And that's what we are talking about. You're not far off, but so that you be on the same page, and maybe you might be able to bring some of your idea and contribute to what we are talking about. But we are talking all about development and acknowledgement and respect for traditions and for the elders, and how do we bring along the youths.
I love that topic. But because let me tell you, me as an activist.
You have 1 more minute, caller. You have 1 more minute.
Well, me as an activist, I just talk about, you know, the government of God, the restoration of the royal dynasty, the root of David as a Rastana. And I talking about that to me like all my life. As an old man now, and I'm talking about that since I'm young. But in Trinidad here, like it hardly avenues for these kind of ideas. I believe that unless we come to that place, you know, we wouldn't be up to the time now, towards, you know, what the black community really have to do. Otherwise, I have to say, a lot of lies and deception the Roman people give we from the Roman Catholic Church, it's still with us. And, you know, these are the things I would like to see the black community addressing, you know. Is a lot of deception ruling the earth. And the royal dynasty, the root of David, supposed to be Earth's rightful ruler. It's plain to see in the Bible. But I don't know
our true liberation as a people is when we are practicing our true spiritual doctrines and beliefs. Once we are practicing the beliefs of the colonizers, we will be enslaved. But if we practice what our ancestors used to practice, that is the vehicle that would carry us forward. Ashe?
Yes, so I'm just like to touch on the folks on Facebook, you know, very interesting caller, very interesting. Taiwan lady says, how are we going? Little by little we will eat the head of the rat. Much blessings to us all. May all good things and truth keep us together. Much love and guidance. Umutai also says, we give a lot to explain to our people. I'm sure the elders listening. Let's get off the me, myself and I syndrome. Ifa is truth and togetherness. Atiba Swamba says, sorry for the late, but I am on. Ashe. True. Next call coming here. Aborabo Yabo Shishe.
Greetings, good night.
Greetings to you, my brother.
Yes, my brother.
Say again? Caller?
You lost him?
Hello?
Hello, yeah, caller, I'm listening.
Yes, is it the 91.9 program?
Yes, it is. You shall we are live.
Good. Okay, good night. I've been listening to you all for quite some time now, for quite a few weeks. Very interesting program tonight. I enjoy listening to the information that the brothers have been sharing about the Rada community, which I know a bit about myself, not a lot, but I haven't lived in the Mova area. I know what happened at end. But let me just say this. You know, I've had the opportunity to live in Africa, to actually live there for about 3 years. I spent a lot of time in Uganda. And while I was there, I spent a lot of time actually learning about the spiritual traditions of the people. And it's interesting to, when I listen to what the brother is talking about in West Africa, is to see how throughout the continent, when you get into the spiritual aspect of the ancient way, the traditional way, that it's, while they may have different names and different things they use to refer to different deities and so forth, but it's almost the same thing. I'm listening to the brothers talk, and it's the same thing I've learned about while living in Uganda in particular, where a lot of that tradition is still there. And to just support what the brother was saying about the whole Christianization of Africa, it's very, very rampant. Even, in fact, in Uganda and even in Sudan, where I spend a lot of time, you see how even now they are still making every effort to colonize the people, so that even in schools, what they do, they try to teach the children only to speak the English language, or in Sudan only Arabic, so that they must not speak their native tongue their mother tongue anymore, because they understand that by changing them to speak English only, they can then easily control and brainwash them much more easier. So there is actually a definite approach to what they do in primary schools. They actually shame children. They have a shame thing that they put on them, so if they hear them speaking their native tongue, they have to put on the shame cloth. And if at the end of the day they're still wearing it, then they will get booked for speaking that traditional language. So this is something that's being practiced. I raised it when I was there to say, why are the people still encouraging this kind of colonialization of the people? But it's very, very rampant. But just to conclude, I just wanted to add that the tradition that I'm hearing the brother speak about, it's almost the same that I learned during my years traveling throughout Africa about what is happening there in terms of the colonization and in terms of the spirituality, that there is a deep connection between what's happening in West Africa and in other parts of the continent. So I just wanted to share that information.
Sure.
Benny, thank you, caller. Michel Antoine Millard. Good day to my uncle Henry, my cousin Anthony, and the host. Blessings from New Zealand. No, so the Farisha way of life is making roads, making inroads, making waves. You know, so we must say this has been another well-structured, powerful night with a lot of information.
But I want to bring a little bit of history around the Rada. We had a steel band that come out of our yard by the name of Rising Sun. One of the ever popular steel band men by the name of Dudley Smith. The first ping pong soloist that Trinidad has ever had. Twice. He also taught some, I have it in document, some people from Casablanca to put rubbers on the stick. He never told them where he got it, to beat the pan.
Casablanca with Leon Chandler.
He also went away with Taspo, with Elimanet and these guys. And a couple of years ago, Elimanet was talking about the new pan he made, and he told them the person who beat that pan while they was in England was Dudley Smith. A lot of people don't know anything about Dudley Smith. I also want to mention the Rada is one of the first people that play African mass in Trinidad and Tobago. It was called Kojo Billy.
I would say meaning of that word, Kojo Billy.
Kojo Billy. And for more information, Albert Bailey is still alive, you can ask him. Back to Africa came out of the Rada Yard.
This Bailey, as you say Bailey, this Bailey family has a strong input in mass, you know.
Yeah. The band came out of the Rada Yard.
He's talking about George Bailey's Back to Africa band.
George Bailey?
It won band of the year in 1957.
Which year?
57.
1957.
Yeah.
Albert is, well, my heart opened. I went to his home one day to look for him because he's not well. And my wife and he called his daughter and said, you know this gentleman? He said, no, Dad. He said, he's from the Rada Yard. Back to Africa, come out of their yard. The only thing I didn't do is, and my eyes got full of water because all these years, everybody back to Africa, George Bailey, came out of Belmont. Belmont is rich with culture.
Yes.
The richest area with culture.
Yes.
You call someone and big man Andy Gantum cricket. I mean, if I start calling him, you won't be able to stop. I mean, but a lot of big people came out of Belmont, big mass men. You know, so I say that so that we could connect the what you call the cultural aspect and the fabric of our people is not separated from the exactly. You understand?
So I must say the Rada community has a lot of history. Belmont and the whole has a lot of history. So, you know, every Monday around this time, I go to my tell me what do you think. And tonight, on my what do you think technology, yeah? Yes. So we heard from Chief Henry Antoine and Mr. Bullock from the Rada community located in Belmont. So this is it. Tell me, what do you think? Humility is a virtue that consists in recognizing one's own limitations and weakness and acting according to that knowledge. Humility is possessed by people without pride and is a feature present in those who perform actions without interest afterwards. Oshun teaches us that humility and simplicity are the master keys to open all the doors of the world. Where there is pride, there is ignorance. Where there is humility, there is wisdom. The owner of the river, thank you for your teaching on humility. The money will flow as the river flow. Thank you. So, you know, we're coming to the end of our segment here tonight. We have live with the Rada community. I'm Chief Henry Antoine and Mr. Bullock. Is there any way that folks can come to the Rada house there in Belmont and view some of the history? And
well, let me say this. We've got a lot of people from the University of the West Indies come to the compound from time to time. There was a gentleman by the name of, oh boy, he's dead now. Yeah.
I'm going to take this call. This person has been calling for a while.
Hello, good night.
Hello, good night.
I see you all every Monday night. And the gentleman spoke just now about Dudley. And my deceased father, we were from Woodbrook. I know live at Lower Peter.
Yeah.
Father is deceased. And he used to speak about, he wasn't a band player, but we came out from like Invaders and all these things. And he used to speak about that thing.
Caller? Right, I guess we having trouble with that one. If I burn me, Rhonda Valentine Charles says, Baba Erin Falami always used to tell us about the Rising Sun Steel Band and all those pan players. You know, so we have approximately 7 more minutes before we make that switch over to David Mohammed and the Black Agenda. I must say, anything in closing, Mr. Antoine?
Well, I want to thank you for inviting us to come here tonight and to share some of our experiences and to tell you a little bit about the RADA. And I just happened to remember one of the first steel band that left Trinidad and went to St. Vincent is the Rising Sun Steel Band.
Wow, that's a picture.
Yes. So folks, we have a picture of the first steel band that ever left Trinidad and Tobago that came from the RADA yard, the Rising Sun. I have Miss Huggins on the line here. Alafia? Alafia?
Alafia, Baba. And Alafia to all the persons on the panel there tonight, my elders, greetings.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Yes, I have a question. Now, it was said to me by an elder that the steel pan came out of an Orisha yard. Is this yard in which they're talking about, was it the RADA community?
Yes, it's the RADA community.
Where the steel pan came out of?
No, the question you're asking seems to be...
Yeah, I'm asking because I heard an elder mention that, because you know when we talk about history and stuff, this particular elder said that the steel pan came out of an Orisha community, out of an Orisha shrine, out of a shrine. Yeah, is this the shrine we're talking about?
No, well, we don't know that what you heard is true, is historically correct, and if it is, the next thing possible to pinpoint which year that came out of. I think there are several books on the origin of the steel pan in Trinidad that might give a better explanation. But it certainly wasn't, to the best of our knowledge, it wasn't Danway County. It wasn't the other yard in Antoine in Delaware.
No, but we were not talking about the origins of where steel band came from. We just mentioned that it's the RADA yard, we had a steel band that came out of the yard, and it's not like the origins of the steel band.
Okay,
if you understand what I mean.
Yes, wonderful. Thanks for that clarity. Actually, the elder, I don't know if the elder you were trying to remember is, which he took me up on the RADA shrine too, and it was amazing. So I'm locked on and listening. Of course, I know we just have a few minutes left in the program. So thanks again for that information to my elders, and get home safely to everyone there on the panel.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Iya. As you know that Iya is one of our sponsors right here on the show. Always willing and eager. Shaka, anything in closing?
I just want the viewership to know we as a people, African people, let us embrace our rich culture and legacies, because if we fail not to...
Let me take this call. One more call. We break it straight. Alafia, caller.
Now comment in full overstanding the whole conversation. This is the program with the deal with Orisha, right?
Yes, you have about 30 seconds.
All right, I know that. What the thing about Orisha, I studied Orisha for the longest while, and I feel it has some ties with ancient Judaism. You know, you see the practices and the ancient spiritual energies that Orisha is. I feel it's still being used today, and I feel the secret society, I feel they're using some of the same knowledge, Egyptian knowledge, to really control spiritual energies. They learned that from us, and I feel that they're ruling us with. So we have to know all these things. We have to go a little deeper into it. Probably the next program.
Right, caller. Yes. So People, we have come to the end of another electrifying, educating 90 on the street 919 FM. Ifa Risha Way of Life. Myself, Alatu Mishe Ifaba Mishe Aganki MC Duke, along with my co-host King Shaka. And tonight, my host, my guest, Chief Henry Twine and Mr. Bullock from the Rada community located in Belmont. We had fun, we enjoyed lots of history, the memory card full, but we can take more. So I urge you people, support the program, support the platform, reach out to us. You can reach out to me on 349-4121. You can reach out to King Shaka, and I know there are people on the outside willing and able to come on the Farisha Way of Life show. However, we only deal with the truth and only the truth. We must fulfill our traditional rights. We shall fulfill our traditional rights. We thank each and every one. May Allah Mary guide and protect us until we meet here again next week Monday. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Up next, David Mohammed with the Black Agenda. We out. We shall fulfill our traditional rights. We thank each and every one. May Allah Mary guide and protect us until we meet here again next week Monday. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Up next, David Mohammed with the Black Agenda. We out.